We are here to endorse the right of Israel to exist, number one, and to assure them that regardless of the threats against them by Iran and the others, we believe that Israel has many friends that are standing with them, that are saying, if Iran wants to be your adversary, you have friends that are here to stand with you and to say, if they touch you, they also touch us as your friends.
It's a serious time for Israel with some of the challenges facing it. We're here as members of parliament from around the world that are supporters of Israel. And, of course, I'm here as an independent member of Parliament, but also as part of a party. I'm carrying the government message in some regards, and in others I'm free to speak as an individual. So, we're concerned about Iran. Our country considers Iran the most serious threat to world peace currently. We've taken measures in that regard that trying to ramp up world attention on the seriousness of this threat, which Israel's been trying to do on its own.
Practically speaking, what does that mean? To be friends is nice, but what are you talking about? Sanctions?
Well, sanctions, obviously, it's only government that can do that. I'm not representing my government. But the most important thing that I can do as a member of parliament is to conscientize the many Christians who do not know what Israel is being threatened with, and to say, let your voice be heard, and also help to put pressure on the South African government to speak out against threats of annihilating Israel by condemning such radical statements.
In Israel, we're hearing lots of people saying the world must learn, actually, from Canada.
Well, we're hoping that other nations will increase the power and the authority of their sanctions. We feel that many have given lip service and have not followed through. We, of course, closed our embassy in Tehran for a number of reasons. First amongst them, of course, is Iran's hostility towards Israel, its continued nuclear program, developing nuclear weapons, which is quite clear to anyone watching, and in spite of UN sanction. And, of course, its promotion of anti-Semitism, hatred of Israel, and its determination to destroy the state. Furthermore, we listed Iran as a state sponsor of terrorism. And we don't have any confidence in Iran's either willingness or ability to honor its Vienna Convention commitments to protect foreign diplomats. So,
how do you explain the fact that it's not happening? There are threats of annihilating Israel, and we're not hearing the whole world condemning that yet.
One of the things that I'm going to say when I'm here is that members of parliament and Christians who support Israel must speak much louder. In the past, Christians have been praying and not speaking out, but now is the time not only to pray for Israel, but also to speak out and say, condemn such threats, because they're totally unacceptable.
It's a time when the world is preoccupied with internal domestic problems in many parts of the world. The EU has its own debt crisis to deal with. America is going through a very divisive presidential election right now, and very severely divided. And of course, all the nations are reeling from economic struggles. So the powers that actually have an authority and ability to intervene in a more serious way are rather preoccupied with other things, which is very dangerous for Israel. And I appreciate personally the actions of the Israeli Prime Minister recently. Whether people appreciate the bomb analogy or not, actually it was very effective in drawing world attention to the seriousness of the issue. And I applaud him for doing that. We look back, it wasn't that long ago Israel had to take unilateral action, go back to the era of Saddam Hussein and his nuclear program, and Israel was again calling for the world to take action. No shortage of hypocrisy. Other nations were providing Saddam with fissionable material for a weapons-grade uranium reactor. And of course he was also scouring the world and negotiating for hot cells to refine uranium into plutonium.
So do you see a situation where we're going to see a lone Israeli attack?
Well, it's not for me to say. We're still hopeful that sanctions will be effective if the world takes them more seriously, and that Iran might actually get the message if other missions close their mission in Iran and pull out rather than going to conventions in Tehran.
This press conference with dozens of members of parliaments from different countries, supporters of Israel, is very significant and very important, not only in terms of the ongoing support we feel coming from these people, leaders in their countries, but also vis-à-vis the Iranian issue. We have a prominent member, for example, of the Canadian Parliament here who could probably share the Canadian experience of how you act on the diplomatic front so that Iran would feel that they are, shall we say, not welcome anymore in certain capitals and certain countries. And taking into consideration the fact that the economic sanctions are working, the Iranian currency is in its lowest. We are witnessing demonstrations again in Tehran. probably at this stage, if there was a little bit of additional pressure on the crazy regime in Tehran, we could stop the armament race, the nuclear race of the Iranian government without any military interference.